Do you see here? Hi guys and gals. Well, it's a lunch break vlog. What will I be talking about today? Well, I found something interesting. I like to go through old newspapers, and I was looking at I made a video a couple of years back, newspaper called the Granby Leader Mail, and it's in the archives, in the Google news archives. And this is from Thursday, January 9th, 1953. So I come from a town called Sutton. That's just a copy of it. Now, there was my grandfather and grandmother, but they were in part of something called a Sutton Farm Forum, which was something that was quite frequent in those days. Let's try and get the most light here. Yeah, quite frequent in those days regarding farming, and my grandparents were really quite active in all these social things. And it's funny because, like I've often said in other videos or whatever, when you know your grandparents are in a certain age, you don't realize actually everything that they've been involved in, and this is quite interesting. So my grandfather, at least in this period, was a secretary. I think at one point he was the chairman, but at least when this was done, he was secretary. So anyway, I mean, just to show, I mean, sometimes we think, people way back, are they as sophisticated as we are, and so on. And the answer, of course, is yes, and very often more so. But anyway, look at this. I mean, it was the type of questions that they'd be asking. So here, this is a group of 24 people at the Farm Forum, and then they were separated into 4 groups, and they were given these questions to answer. Do you think that the United Nations offer hope for world peace? Remember, this is 1953, not very long after the war, and it was the Korean War. Anyway, it was around there, wasn't it? Second question, how can we as Canadian citizens bring peace to the world? And the third question was, some people think a world government will be necessary before lasting peace is assured. And where's the fourth question? Well, I can't find it. Maybe there were only 3 questions. I guess it was 4 groups and 3 questions. Well, the question of the United Nations bringing world peace, the answer was yes. And they didn't actually say why, though, here. But the thing is, how can Canadian citizens bring peace to the world? The answer was, make surplus wheat available to hungry people, and instructions to order, I don't exactly, I'm not able to quite read the way it's written here, something about to bring, to bring to developed countries. And about the question if some people think a world government, so, globalization, or what will be necessary to bring lasting peace, the answer was no. Not a complete world government is possible. A government to control military affairs, that's interesting, but not the economic control of countries. So it is interesting because there you have it. I mean, that's the way that the local farmers in the early 50s were thinking about world affairs when they were together discussing. I mean, and they would have a lot of topics like that. I've seen that in different little write-ups of their meetings, and it is interesting because here we have the so-called the rural yokels, who are just chatting about world affairs. Remember, I mean, this was probably before TV. This was the radio period. So this is really, I find, interesting to show that, they were thinking about what was going on in their world around them. And at the end, of course, lunch was served and a social time was enjoyed. So what do we make of that with our today's social media? I mean, like, everybody is like going on like how, everything is known immediately and we discuss things, but are we making more of an impact in the world than people were then? I guess the only impact is that people know about it like today. But with the radio, and there was already at the time, I mean, the short waves and everything, you know that the impact was just as fast. It was still daily. Everybody that was listening to the radio and the wireless, the impact was the same. It was the same day. So has anything really, really changed? I know the answer to that. I would say is still yes. But I don't know if it's a yes positive. I would almost sometimes tend to say it's no. Because by going too fast, we don't take time to think most of the time. Well, what do you think about that? Anyway, DC signing off. Take care. It was nice to go into the past. And, I mean, this is before I was born. Go into the past and to see what my grandparents thought about world affairs. Okay, DC signing off. Take care, everybody, and have a nice Tuesday. Bye-bye.